Hello, and thank you for watching this presentation that we have put together for the 34th World Conference of ISME. I'm Julie Ballantyne from the University of Queensland, which is in Brisbane, Australia.
And I'm Nicole Canham from Monash University in Melbourne, Australia.
This paper is entitled Music Teachers' Reports of Their Self-Efficacy, Implications for Support Across the Career. And in this presentation, we're going to be sharing some findings from a study we've recently completed that looks at music teachers' reports of their self-efficacy with a particular focus on the support across the career. We are grateful for this opportunity to share this work because hearing from teachers across their career enables us to address particular issues that are important to teachers at different career stages. Teachers' perceptions of their abilities to navigate the complexities of being a teacher influence their behaviour, the ways they are perceived, how they make sense of their environment and circumstances, and consequently also influence their successes. This quantitative study compared self-reported views of music teachers' confidence and self-efficacy at different career stages. We wanted to better understand how years in the profession influenced perceived teacher self-efficacy by investigating this and perceived confidence of music teachers across their careers. Our findings compare the responses of early career music teachers and those of experienced teachers as a way of understanding the ways that those teachers their perceived self-efficacy changes.
Teacher self-efficacy and confidence really matter. Examining teacher self-efficacy beliefs is key to improving the quality of teaching in schools because perceived self-efficacy is aligned with success in the profession. And the stronger a person's perceived self-efficacy, the higher their performance achievements will be.
Confidence is also important for teachers. In this study, the focus was on what teacher confidence looks like in practice across time, as reflected in participants' views of what skills and knowledge were most important to them in their work and how this intersected with their levels of confidence in different areas. Both self-efficacy and confidence impact upon job performance. So, understanding how teachers perceive and value their knowledge in practice is important. The way music teachers perceive themselves contribute to their longevity and success in the profession. Early career teachers often struggle to balance their work-related expectations and the realities that they are faced with, which has significant implications for their longevity as teachers. Any disconnect or perceived disconnect between university education and the profession, and more importantly, teachers' difficulty that they have when navigating the workforce has implications for school education more broadly, because diminished teacher confidence may negatively impact the professional capital, particularly the adaptability of the education workforce as a whole. It is therefore necessary to examine the key challenges for teachers in terms of managing their expectations, perceptions, and the workplace reality.
A person's level of career adaptability significantly influences their capacity for professional learning. From a career development perspective, the meta competencies of adaptability and identity significantly shape a person's workplace effectiveness and their subjective experiences of work. Adaptability is behavioural as well as attitudinal, and self-efficacy has been correlated with adaptive performance, cognitive ability, emotional stability, and achievement motivation. Confidence has been connected to adaptability and career development as well. Confidence can be defined as a person's perception of their ability to achieve work-related goals and respond to work-related challenges. Teachers' levels of self-efficacy have also been shown to be a predictor of their career adaptability, and confidence can be viewed as a person's perception of their self-efficacy. So it's important to understand what skills and knowledge support teachers' sense of self-efficacy and confidence across their careers.
This paper reports on the scale dealing with self-efficacy, as well as a report on perceived importance and confidence of various aspects of teaching music. In order to reveal attitudes about self-efficacy related to teaching, we utilised an item from the self-efficacy work of Hargraves, etc., in 2007, which has previously been used with music teachers. This item asks respondents to reference their teaching activities and rate how much they agree or disagree with a range of self-efficacy statements. Another question examined in this paper comes from a large-scale study completed by Skalvik and Skalvik in 2009 into teacher self-efficacy and teacher burnout. Participants were asked the question, how certain are you that you can? And they were asked to respond about various aspects of teaching. For example, how certain are you that you can and successfully use any instructional method that the school decides to use? There's a bunch of different items there.
So let me tell you a little bit about our participants. There were 1,021 respondents to the survey, and 841 of those completed at least 50% of the questionnaire, and that was the threshold for a completed questionnaire. If someone chose not to answer a question, they were excluded from the analyses that utilised that item, and that explains the varied number of responses in each of the items of analyses presented. We can see here on the screen the key demographic information of the study participants. So 18% of the sample were aged 18 to 25. 59%, the bulk of participants, were in that mid-career or getting established area, aged between 26 and 50, and 23% were aged 51 and over. 81% female, 19% male, and you can see from the geographic location that while the bulk of them came from Australia, they also were concentrated in the US and other countries. Looking at the education and qualifications, 31% had completed some sort of dual degree in music or arts and education, 20% had straight degrees in education, 26% had completed a Bachelor of Music, 23% had completed a graduate diploma of education, and about 37% had completed another unnamed degree. So very different education pathways to their work. And in the teaching environment, 64% were teaching in one school, 19% were at two schools, and the majority of participants were teaching in state schools, with about 30% teaching at Christian or Catholic schools. In this paper, we're going to report on the results for the scale dealing with self-efficacy, and participants perceived importance and confidence of various aspects of teaching music. Mean self-efficacy scores were calculated by averaging scores across the 21 self-efficacy items. Mean self-efficacy scores were then regressed against years teaching, and a simple linear regression revealed a significant positive relationship between years teaching and self-efficacy. That is, self-efficacy increased with years teaching.
We created a scale that asked teachers to rate the importance and level of confidence they experience in particular sets of knowledge and skills. This scale, which was divided into theoretical categories listed here, enabled us to compare the importance that music teachers ascribe to various aspects of the job in comparison to how confident they were in these same aspects. Teachers were asked a question, how important are the following areas of knowledge or skills for music teachers, and rated their responses from not important, which is 1, to extremely important, 5. Respondents were also asked to rate their confidence in each of the areas from not confident at all, 1, to extremely confident, 5. The areas of knowledge and skills listed were identical to those used in a previous work with Jan Packer in 2004, although this time we removed musical creativity as this item was previously proven to be unreliable. Music knowledge and skills was a category that incorporated such items as performance skills, conducting skills, oral perception skills, composition skills, and music history knowledge. Pedagogical content knowledge and skills incorporated such items such as, for example, knowledge of music teaching techniques, implementing the music curriculum effectively, and general pedagogical knowledge and skills were those knowledge and skills related to pedagogy that didn't specifically mention music. For example, knowledge of education purposes and values, ability to cater for student needs. non-pedagogical professional knowledge and skills included such items as organisation of extracurricular musical activities, communication with the community, etc., etc. The wording of the question in the current study reflects the range of possible teaching solutions that situations that respondents might find themselves in, and doesn't refer to teacher education courses explicitly, allowing the response from teachers with both few and many years of experience. So here is the results from that importance confidence analysis. Here are their responses. As you can see, overall, participants considered all of the 23 items of music teacher knowledge and skills derived from the literature to be at least moderately important. All had means greater than 3 on the 5-point scale. The confidence that the music teachers reported across each of these items was on average adequately confident, so means were greater than 3. The majority of teachers felt, on average, quite confident when considering 14 of the items. On average, none of the teachers were extremely confident in any of the items, and the teachers were adequately confident in the remaining 9 items. We used parallel analysis to identify the appropriate number of factors to extract from both the confidence and importance data. Using a principal factor solution, the parallel analyses identified a 3-factor solution for both the importance and confidence data, and you can see those here. Inspection of the scree plots corroborates the 3-factor solution. So the 3 factors are called music knowledge and skills, professional knowledge and skills, and pedagogical knowledge and skills.
So in this figure, we have the importance confidence analysis, and we've taken the means and we've plotted them according to IPA theory, which is when we have a graphical representation, and we've combined the 2 dimensions of importance and confidence. This analysis enables researchers to focus on areas that warrant further attention. In this case, when considering areas where support around self-efficacy for music teachers should be focused. In this style of analysis, the mean scores from the importance and confidence ratings were plotted on a grid with 4 quadrants, enabling the separation of items from least to greatest concern. If we have a look here, no items fell into quadrant 1, and quadrant 1 is high importance, lower confidence. So those would be areas that would warrant immediate attention, and nothing fell into that quadrant there.
Items, so we're looking at quadrant 2 here. Items 7, 8, and 9 and 10 are items which may not have been emphasised in pre-service teacher education and which gain immediate importance once teachers are faced with the realities of often running a music department. Music teachers are also often isolated within schools. These items appear to largely be associated with procedural, administrative, management and communication skills. Generalised support in these areas by schools and school communities may go a significant way to ameliorate any needs or discrepancies perceived by teachers and as evident by their placing in this particular quadrant.
Probably important here to keep an eye on the lower confidence, knowing the links between confidence and career adaptability, because also these factors might impact on a person's subjective and subjective sense of their success, because they're likely to be areas where an early career teacher would be learning on the job. So if an early career teacher didn't like being in the position of feeling like a learner or having to learn areas outside of their expertise or interest, that might have subjective consequences for the person involved. So teachers' actual skill levels may not be the only thing that's involved here.
Items 2, 4 and 5 are interesting because early career teachers, you would imagine, would be fairly well skilled in these areas, yet they're showing lower confidence as well as a slightly lower importance of these areas. Most programs in music education would include courses in conducting, composition and music history, but it seems that across the career, this is an area where professional development would be seen to enhance the confidence of practicing teachers, moving it up into quadrant 1. Thus, it would seem that provision for ongoing support in music knowledge and skills for teachers, perhaps the provision of supported postgraduate training in music rather than music education, might be beneficial for these kind of teachers. It stands to reason that improving music knowledge and skills might improve other areas of music teachers' professional confidence, and that links to what Nicole just previously said. Coordination of extracurricular music activities is not something that will contribute to every music teacher's role, in Australia at least, and it is also sometimes managed by administrators. So it is understandable that this might fall into this quadrant. Performance skills and knowledge of education purposes and values are very different from one another. Both, however, would be covered in pre-service education, possibly in professional development, and both would be consistently present in the lives of the practicing music teachers. They are frequently expected to perform or demonstrate their performance skills, and the majority of respondents played instruments while they were undergraduates, most of them reporting doing a performance-focused degree. Education purposes and values tend to underpin any changes or developments in schools. Quadrant 4.
Quadrant 4. So, this is a pretty busy quadrant. And items that fell into this quadrant represent a combination of pedagogical content, knowledge and skills, professional knowledge and skills, and music knowledge and skills. And when we consider the average age and skill level of the teachers who responded to the questionnaire, it makes sense that these are areas of relative importance and confidence across the profession. As it's represented here, this is a good news story for music education generally, as higher confidence in areas that are considered to be of higher importance would generally be considered a gold standard for the profession. If teachers are feeling confident about their role in areas that they feel are very important, they're more likely to feel positive about their role within the profession. The placement of these items within this quadrant is also probably reflective of the targeted work of individuals, professional organisations and universities to address issues of professional knowledge and skills. Placement in this quadrant doesn't mean that we can afford to be complacent, rather it's an acknowledgement of work well done and a reminder that it is still the area that is most important to music teachers.
Respondents also felt that the support provider was fairly matched with the need in relation to communication with colleagues and oral perception skills, and that certainly is something that we need to think about as part of the good news story. So the ANOVA, in order to determine whether there was a difference between those teachers who were in the early years of their career and experienced teachers on these scales, we utilised the same 3 factors that emerged from the factor analysis and did an ANOVA of both the early career and experienced teacher groups for both importance and confidence items. For the purpose of this analysis, we defined early career teachers as those who'd been teaching for 3 years or less. In this sample, we have 128 early career teachers and 561 more experienced teachers, from a total of 689 teachers who gave us information on the number of years they'd been teaching. This graph shows us that graph. The importance confidence analysis suggests that music teachers, regardless of their number of years in the profession, feel that the most important knowledge and skills are pedagogical knowledge and skills, although they still highly value the other factors such as professional knowledge and skills and music knowledge and skills. However, as this figure shows, when we separate the responses for those teachers who are early career and the rest, teaching experience significantly influences ratings of importance in professional knowledge and skills and music knowledge and skills. The ratings of pedagogical content knowledge and skills remain the same regardless as to whether you're an early career teacher or not. So it's very, very important to all of the teachers who responded. In terms of confidence, we see some differences here. Experienced teachers reported greater confidence in pedagogical content knowledge and skills and in professional knowledge and skills than their early career counterparts, which is a good news story. You would expect that after years in the profession, you feel more confident in the skills and knowledge required to teach music and in the professional knowledge and skills associated with your profession. But years in the profession did not seem to influence teachers' confidence in their music knowledge and skills, although experienced teachers were slightly more confident in their music knowledge and skills. Again, this is not surprising because early career teachers have usually just finished a degree that might have focused predominantly on performance or other areas of music knowledge and skills, so they're freshly confident in that particular area. But experienced teachers are using their music knowledge and skills on a daily basis, which also enhances their confidence in this area. And as we spoke about before, musical knowledge and skills and musical confidence is associated with self-efficacy as a music teacher. So what have we learned from this study? To what extent is confidence in these various areas that we've looked at associated with competence? Are they aligned? Well, we didn't investigate that necessarily. This is certainly an area for future research. It's also important for us to note that these are just the perceptions of teachers, which it's crucial to investigate and crucial to report on, but it may not be the realities. For example, someone may feel very confident in an area that they aren't particularly great at, or they may feel very, that they're not confident in an area where they actually objectively are pretty good at that area. So this is something to keep in mind when you're interpreting these findings. Perception is very important in constructivist understandings of the careers. And it may be that beyond discipline-specific professional development, looking at particularly, you would imagine, pedagogical knowledge and skills and professional knowledge and skills more focused towards the early career teachers. There are other areas for support that are also needed, such as career counselling. Nicole?
Yeah, well, you know, personal circumstances like family relationships and work-life balance influence resilience, career adaptability and professional learning. So given the differences, especially in confidence between early career teachers and more experienced teachers, understanding also how personal aspects as they relate to teacher confidence are also areas to further investigate, because it may be, as Julie said, that the solution is not necessarily only in discipline-specific or content-specific PD, but that managing work-life balance and workplace learning is also something that people need additional, early career teachers especially, need additional sort of skills and support with.
Yeah, so this is looking at the types of PD that are going to become important to these teachers across their career, and enables us in a more nuanced understanding of the music teaching profession as a whole. Looking at what's important at one point, it might not be the same as what's important at another point, and where teachers feel confident at one point may not be the same as where they might be more typically confident at another point. Overall, though, it's pretty much a good news story in terms of we have a very clear understanding that these teachers seem to be developing confidence as they progress through the career. They are feeling more confident in professional knowledge and skills and pedagogical knowledge and skills and music teaching, music knowledge and skills, and that's good. But there is still work to be done, and it is in the type of PD and in the focused nature of that PD that we need to continue to work. I'd just like to note that this data doesn't include those teachers who have quit the profession. It provides a snapshot of the profession at a point in time and would incorporate those people who might be on the brink of quitting as well as those who are extremely happy in their jobs. But more work needs to be done in this area, and I really encourage the people listening to this to get in contact with us and to give us suggestions for future work, to share their work with us, and to help us along in this area of research. Thank you very much for listening to us, and please don't hesitate to get into contact.
Thank you.